Okay, what we're going to talk about in this module is timing and rhythm. Okay, so I talked about it a little bit. It's the most important thing about timing is that first beat, that first strum. So let's go back to that. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're playing a G and C and D and C and G. Okay, so that's, you might want to start off just playing a one strum. As you are better at knowing your target notes, where to put your fingers, and you're getting good at the arc technique, what you're going to do is you're going to start strumming more. And I highly suggest that you learn how to play with a pick. It took me, believe it or not, took me like, I don't want to say this to discourage you, but for me, and everyone is different, for me, the most difficult thing about playing guitar is, believe it or not, it's not the chords or anything with my left hand. It's holding this pick and keeping it from, it would fall, it would hit, it would drop it would fall out of my hand. When I hit the strings, it would drop on the floor, it would fall into the hole of this guitar. I'd be playing, I don't know where it went, it'd fall, roll, and it's gone. I can't even find it anymore. So I had the hardest time playing with picks. So learn how to play with picks, and no matter how long it takes you, especially when you're amplified, it sounds a lot better that you play with a pick. When I practice, sometimes I don't. I just use my finger, my thumb, like this, and that's good. You might, if that's your starting point, if you don't want to make yourself overwhelmed and you want to concentrate on your left hand, then you don't need a pick. But eventually you're gonna wanna be playing with picks. Okay, and I'll be talking about picks in another video, and what kind of picks to buy. But for now, let's just talk about our timing. So what I want you to do is, instead of strumming that one time, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So you see also how I'm moving my fingers. You can use any finger that you want. You can use one finger for the whole thing, but I wouldn't suggest that, because it's going to be, you're going to have to make big jumps. So I would use my ring finger in this pattern, C, if you can. If you can't, play with your middle finger, switch to your pointer, or just play with your middle finger. Again, you want to be able to use your different fingers. You don't want to, at a starting point, you might want to just concentrate on your strongest fingers, which is probably these two fingers right here, probably. But as you keep playing, you want to be able to use your ring finger when you need to, and you want to be able to, stretch if you have to. Because look, you don't move your hand too much if you're just doing this. If you're doing this, look, you're jumping. This is fine, but you're jumping all over the place. You want to make life easier, so don't overwhelm yourself. Don't make it too hard. But at the same time, as you get better, incorporate these different fingers to actually make it easier. So you want to start strumming more than one time. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. See, and what I'm doing is I'm not doing the typical 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You can do that. That's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just trying to make it a little bit more musical. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. Strumming patterns. Okay, I am not, just so you know, I am not somebody who actively thinks about strumming patterns. Like, what I mean is, like, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, things like that. And I hear and I see people asking that question a lot, which is fine, but I am going to be of absolutely no help to you if you are somebody who wants to know strumming patterns. I do not follow strumming patterns at all. I completely go by my ear and by ear and by feel. I just play what feels and sounds good to me, and it comes out okay. Other people might teach you the exact strum patterns, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing if that's what you want to learn. I was never to me. It just got me. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but for me, it just made life harder. It made music a little bit more harder. I'm trying to learn the chords, and on top of that, having to memorize certain chord patterns was just too frustrating for me. And again, that's just me. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Um, I play I my right hand, because I don't use a strumming pattern. It's I use it more like almost like a percussion instrument, like. So whatever sound you would kind of make with your mouth, I'm trying to use my right hand. I'm going to stop making those noises because to me it might be very annoying. But I use my right hand and strumming in a percussive, that kind of time keeping, like a shaker almost. Um, I don't know. I hope that made sense to you. I'm just, I'm just, and I'm just playing. One of the things to do is, again, that's going to be difficult if you're still learning how to play with your picks. So again, you can do it without a pick for now, and just concentrate and focus on, and then grab your pick. Because if you're like me and it's falling out of your hands, don't get frustrated with that. Just put this thing down and just go ahead. But getting back to what we're talking about, because I play like that, and I just kind of listen to what it sounds like. And I was kind of thinking too much, but that right there, I'm listening to the feel and the groove of the song, and like I don't even know, I couldn't even explain to you what down up down up what I'm doing, unless I would play back and watch myself on the video and say, okay, then I'll start. Yeah, I would have to write it down, and then I would be able to tell you. I'm just listening. So I know it's weird to watch, but that's my way of approaching timing. I don't like robotic 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's a starting point. That is a starting point, but I don't want you to think that that's how you play. I mean, you don't listen to any song on the radio. You don't request any song that sounds like that. People, you start off playing 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you kind of get loose. It's still the same beat. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I just try to listen and make it as musical as possible and as fun as possible, and as less stiff. And as you can see, it takes a lot. You got to loosen up your wrist, and that might take a long time, because in the beginning you might be thinking so much and making life difficult, making your guitar playing difficult. You don't want a stiff, like this hand is like a straight rod, and you're like this and you're all tense. It takes time to relax, but music is all about enjoying, listening to what it sounds like, making it better, and don't pressure out about it. And you don't want to, be so stiff. Kind of like, relax, and just kind of look at your wrist even, and just make sure it's moving. Make sure it's not all like this, because you're gonna get tired real fast. So I hope that helped. Again, this is very non-traditional. This is just what I do. And if you're looking for strumming patterns, there's a lot of videos. If you pick a song and find somebody that will teach you the strumming patterns, because your right hand is different from your left hand. So you can learn from me, one finger worship chords, and then you can get the strumming pattern. So if you want to sound like the radio, and that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. If you want to sound as close to the recording as possible, go for it. I just don't have the patience. I get frustrated too fast, and that's just my take. So take it with a grain of salt if that makes sense to you, or if you disagree, then it's good. It's fine.